You're listening to Darling Shine, a podcast by Ellidy Pullin and myself, Chloe Fisher.
Darling Shine is your survival kit to the unexpected shit life throws at you.
This episode is brought to you by Luv Lou. We both absolutely love this Australian sunglasses label founded by sister duo Hayley and Jade. Luv Lou are designed to create and build confidence. There is a style for everyone with their classic shapes and timeless styles.
Yes, we are obsessed with Luv Lou. Actually, just a thought, I think Darling Shine and Luv Lou need to do a little collab.
Absolutely.
Hurry out, they're the best. Luv Lou are so kind in giving us 25% off using code DarlingShine at checkout, valid through till the 13th of April, darlings.
That's also a really amazing discount for their sunglasses because they're already like such a great price point.
Luv Lou. Don't sing it. We shouldn't sing.
We should
Not our
never
thing.
sing.
Hello, Shalink.
I don't know if I can deal with that.
It just
but like
fell
people
out.
that don't know,
Shalink.
people that have come on board and this is their first episode that they've ever listened to, they're like, have no idea what you're talking about.
It's just hello, darling. Then that turns into hello, darlink. And then obviously darlink turns into Shalink.
Right. Okay.
So it's just the evolution. Like, you know, we started calling each other doll and then that turned into dollop, which turned into scallop, which turned into trollop. And just
I can't say I ever got on that bandwagon. I accepted being called it, but I'm
it's
not
called
great.
the Dollopino language. You need to get fluent.
Okay. All right. On
You
another
don't speak
note,
Dollopino.
no, I don't speak Filipino. Wow. On another note, which is a very exciting announcement we have for us, not you guys, but if you remember 2 episodes ago, I did a little party trick with an Allen snake where I tied a snake in my mouth into a knot, and I've always done that. And I don't even know how
She's
I learned.
very talented.
Anyway.
Fish is a very lucky boy.
I wouldn't go that far. But the brand manager from Allen's Snake actually got in contact with us about 3 minutes after that episode aired and has offered us a lifetime supply of snakes.
You're kidding.
Yeah, not kidding.
Yeah, within like a second, he was onto it.
Love that for us. We're going to turn into
I'm
an
out here
Allen
trying
snake.
to get a Macca's Spono, but we'll go with the little snakelets.
Yes, yes. But we also realised that we haven't spoken much about Min and Tonic, and she's the newest member. We're now a party of 3 co-parenting.
Co-parenting our little
Proper
family, our little
co-parenting.
ministry of sound. For those of you that don't know who we're talking about my daughter Minnie. So she's now nearly 4. No, she'd be nearly 5 months now. And so yeah, we're settled
She's a
in
big
back
girl.
home. Yeah, she's a big, big, big boy. When we got home from being in Sydney for like 3.5 months or whatever it was, came home and yeah, it was a bit like, whoa, because like she wasn't really like a big girl back then. When we left, she was like fresh out the womb. So now we've come back and she's just like, wow, we're home. This is really cool, this house. I'm just imagining what's going through Minnie's head. I've got a big room. I've got a cot, like, you know, so she's in routine now, kind of. We're trying to get her in a bit of a routine, and Chloe's been a really awesome co-parent.
But I'm a bit more of the lenient co-parent. Like we're trying to
to
self-settle, and I just feel like I just know in her cries sometimes there's like a scream, but then sometimes there's like a scream where you're like she's dropped the dummy, or like it's like a scream for help. And I'll like sneak in the room and like put the dummy in, or I'll like give her a little pat or a little cuddle, and then she goes to sleep. But I have to do it without Elle knowing because I'm breaking the self-settle rules.
Self-settle. We're going to do it for 8 minutes. If she's still screaming after 8 minutes, we'll go in there. But Chloe at like 1 minute goes in there, and I'm like, I don't want her to turn into that kid that when they fall over, they're like absolutely sweet, but then they want a little bit of attention, so they just start screaming when they're absolutely fine. Like Min and Tonic is not doing that.
Oh, well, don't worry. I won't be here for long, so you'll have the rest of the year off from me.
Nah,
you can do your own parenting then.
Yeah, but it's so cute because like whenever she screams, whenever someone else is holding her and she starts squawking, they're like, oh, she must have a bellyache. And I'm like, no, it's just the witching hour. She's absolutely fine because she's smiling 1 second, screaming the next, smiling 1 second, screaming the next.
Yeah, we went for a drive the other day to one of the venues that we were checking out for our live events here on the Gold Coast, and she literally screamed for like, what?
She didn't like the venue.
She did not like the venue. We liked it, but she wasn't a fan, so we have to like do a little vote.
No, yeah, she's just babies cry.
Majority rules. Sorry, Minnie.
Yeah, so is Min. But my midwife said to me, like, babies cry, don't, that's just their way of communicating. So I've never stressed too much about her crying. But, other people don't like listening to a squawking kid. So you're a bit like, when other people are around, I'm like, oh, we'll sort her, like, Minnie, it's okay. But then when it's just me, I'm like, I just talk back to it. We just have a good old chat. I reckon she's 5 months. She's probably about to start having a chat.
She does. She lays there with her little hands crossed in her lap. And like, I'm like,
Plotting.
what are you thinking?
Plotting things.
What
It's
are you
really
thinking?
funny being back because like now I'm back and we've got other friends that have newborns. So and now that me and Minnie have gotten to know each other a little bit more, like we're like best friends now. Like we've gotten to know each other, and it's like I'll be like to our other friends that have a newborn that's similar age, like, does your one do this? And like, nah, does your one do this? Like we're talking about like little. She's like my model, the Mini 2000 does this. It's so cute. They're just like these little robot things that you just got to feed, poo, change.
So she's enjoying being home.
She's loving it.
She's settling in okay?
Yeah. She's loving her little room, her little cot. She's just such a little legend, and like I just want to be able to like just tell Chump like how good she is, and I just want him to just know how fucking epic she is, because she's just perfect.
She's just every single day she's looking more and more like him. Like you did not get
I didn't get a look in at the moment, eh?
No. She literally, if you just put a little moustache on her, it's him. So Halloween, we definitely need to dress her up as Chumpy.
100%.
At the Olympics, in like
put a little beanie on her head and make sure the ears are untucked like he liked it. And little like snowboard twins on her. Oh my God, cute, with a little Red Bull hat. Yes. Red Bull, if you're listening, get a little mini hat for Minnie. Oh my God, cute. But yeah, look, I think he knows. I think he's with us. I think Rebecca, you saw that psychic who said that Chump was like right beside us, and he's helping bring her up without like physically. Sometimes I'm a bit like, I'm physically doing the hard work, but he's maybe like doing in her brain. He's maybe like, like working with her brain, like, brain training. Sometimes brain training. Sometimes I see her like eyes, like it's just she looks busy sometimes in her head, is what I'm trying to say. She's booked and busy up there.
Got a bit of admin.
Bit of admin for the Prime Minister.
With International Women's Day just passed, we thought we would do an episode on friendship.
Friendship. All right, friendship episode, darling. We love friends. Friendship.
What a way to introduce the episode.
Friendship episode. Rummy's looking at me like, what the fuck, Mum? Shut up. We have a pretty cool girl group from school. We're very lucky, and it's not like a lot of people don't have this large group that they've still stayed intertwined with like 10 years after we've graduated from school. And most of them are in Sydney. We're up on the Goldie, and we're still all pretty good friends. Obviously, there's friends within the group, like better friends within the group, and groups within the group, like subgroups. But yeah, I'd say we're pretty lucky. Hey, Chloe.
Yeah, I guess we like, and this episode as well, like we kind of thought that we'd started off by talking a little bit about our group. So you can kind of understand the dynamics a little bit, because whenever we ask you guys what you want to hear about, the number one question that we get asked is, we want to know about friendships, your group. You guys seem as though you've got such a big group. Like you all seem as though you love each other very dearly, like, which we obviously do. But we thought we'd debunk it a little bit and talk about the different dynamics, and then we wanted to talk about the different types of friends, and also answer some questions that you guys had in relation to friendships. But to start things off, I thought that we would speak about the different dynamics within our group. There's most of our friends that we have in our group are from school, it is pretty crazy, because we've been out of school for what year did we finished school in 2009.
Yeah.
I'm not very good at maths. What year are we in now? 2022.
It's been like 13. Wow. This is 13 years. Fuck, we're old. And yeah, we all still do keep in touch.
Isn't that wild?
That's wild. I mean, like we are all
years. I still feel like I just left school only a few years ago. Like what the hell has happened in the last 13 years? Like what have we actually done? Like,
I'm pretty sure
wow.
the other day I was like, oh, it's your 21st soon to someone. And they were like, oh my God, it's my 30th, you idiot. And I was like, oh, duh. I just still feel like we're really young. Like,
Fully.
wow.
I like
Yeah.
21. Wow. But yeah, so it's crazy to think that we haven't been at school for all those years, but we have almost like 99% of us have all stuck together. And I was just saying to Eldy
Yeah.
just before, Elodie and I weren't actually even really super close in high school. We actually didn't really even I think I was in one group at school, Elodie was in the other group, and we didn't really essentially start hanging out until maybe year 12, when both of the groups combined. Was that right?
Our groups like merged, and then straight after school our groups merged, and then we were always our group was just massive and we were always hanging out. And then shortly after school we all went traveling together, so like within our group we've all got like this history with like traveling, and like,
Oh my
don't you reckon we all
goodness.
know each other's parents and we all know each other's kind of brothers and sisters in history, and like
Yeah.
it's like no matter, and half the girls I won't speak to, for like a few weeks or a month, but like I don't like when you know that person so well, or their history, or you've been through shit with that person, or you've traveled with that person. It doesn't really matter how long or like how often you talk, and like the relationship's not defined by that, especially within our group. There's like subgroups within our group, and like so many little subgroups, and then there's like the randoms that have rung in. Like some of us have, cousins or friends of family friends, or like friends that I grew up in my street with, and like they'll kind of tag along here and there. Or
And then we have some best friends as well, who, I mean, like I went to two different high schools. When I first started high school, I went to one school, and then in year 9 I left and went to another school, and I like brought some of my friends from my previous school who are now some of our best friends, like now through high school. Like for example, our friend Laura, who's a professional surfer, I've been friends with her since I was like 5 years old, and now she's completely part of our larger group. Even though none of them went to school with her, it kind of got brought along. And yeah, we've just like snowballed into this big juicy group of friends. It's pretty cool.
And then, of course, you and me moved away, and we've got like Gold Coast friends, but then our Gold Coast friends do know our school friends. And like when we're all together, it all just works, because we just surround ourselves with people who we get along with, and then all of our friends seem to just like get along, and it just kind of all works. I don't know. It's really cool.
And I think I was just thinking, like when you mentioned travel, when we were younger, and I don't know if we've touched on this before in the podcast, but when we were younger and we all turned 21, we did this massive group trip to Mexico and in LA and a few different places. Actually, I'm sure if you search
Vegas.
the hashtag Hustlers
Go Global.
There'll be some pretty funny photos on there from our trip. And then all the boys back home, what did they created a hashtag called
Hustlers Stay Local. They were jealous that we were away. No, they were actually like, oh my gosh, you girls are so fucking lame. Get rid of your stupid Hustlers Go Global hashtag. And every time they'd go out, they'd just like hashtag Hustlers Stay Local. We felt like the biggest knobs.
But I guess as we have gotten older, and I think that this would happen with most friendships as well, and friendship circles, you naturally do start dividing. And I don't get me wrong, when once a year, we will have a big Christmas party and we'll all catch up together. But there are smaller groups within our larger group, and like there's no problems with that. It's just people who you gravitate towards, and like we would talk about this a lot in the like throughout the episodes, that energy doesn't lie, and like some people you just naturally gravitate towards more so than others, and that's not a problem either, because they gravitate towards different people too. So I think that that's a really important note, that you don't always have to be, it doesn't have to always be one big happy family. Like it's okay to have smaller groups and run in smaller groups as well.
Definitely quality over quantity for sure. Like we're always just going to have a small core group, or like the people that I talk to every day. But yeah, just in general, like lots of people won't have this big group from school because it is quite rare. And I say that we are lucky, but a lot of the time it's way more healthy just to not move in big circles like that. There's so much less drama. And yeah, so many people do just gravitate to like just one or two people, which is super healthy and normal. And I think when you get like big groups, or especially when there's like 3s and 5s, you know, there's always like, oh, there's so, and like so many different dynamics of people which we'll get into. But yeah, there's always, and especially with girls, like weird, like jealousy things, or you can't, because sometimes Chloe and I find we are in this massive group. So if just 2 or 3 or 4 of us want to go out for dinner, the rest, well, it's not really like this anymore, but the rest are like, oh, so where is the invite kind of thing? And it's like, well, we didn't want to go out with 20 people tonight. We just wanted to go out with fucking 4 of us. Like, you know, there's bits and pieces like that go on. And
I think the older you get as well, it's important to not let that sort of stuff get to you. Like, it's like we're 30 now, and you know, it's those small little things that you should just like, oh, okay, yeah, cool, whatever, I'll see you next time. Or it like, don't take things so much to heart. And I think that that's what I'm learning the older I get. That's like a really great trait, not to feel jealous that you're being not included, and I'm sure none of it's intentional. I'm sure it's just like, you know, you're hanging out with someone at the time, you're like, oh, let's go do dinner, and it just gets organized like that, and it's like not intentional to be leaving people out. It's just the way that it goes.
Totally.
And like a few people have also asked, like, how do you stay in touch with everyone, and how do you always, you know what's going on? Like, because you guys live on the Gold Coast, because we live on the Gold Coast, most of our girlfriends live in Sydney, and we literally, where this hustlers thing comes into play, which is so lame. We've got like a Facebook group, and it's called Hustlers, and that's like, we've had that since we finished school, and we've always just had our the Hustlers Facebook group, and so we're all in that. And we used to be more chatty on that, but now we've evolved towards
now,
that.
because there's because the group, it keeps expanding, and it's like, there's so many like subgroups within now, and like we're just so much older, and people have babies, and you know, like
sometimes
so much
our
less chatting.
Sometimes our chats like the fun, like all fun. Well, I guess not everyone's like, I feel like because most of our friends are having babies or have just had babies or are pregnant, most of the chat isn't about partying and going out and getting loose anymore. It's about like, what Dyson did you get, or like what vacuum
cleaner
can you recommend? Pretty funny.
Oh my gosh, yeah, like we're talking about furniture and shit like that,
Plants
rather than like all just the gossip from the weekend.
Yeah. But so to kind of move on, and within this episode, something that I've heard a few times and I've read a few times in books that I've read is a quote, and it says, friends are around for a reason, a season, or a lifetime. And I really thought that I really resonate with that. And both Elle and I were like, let's base this whole conversation around just that, the different types of friendships that you may have, and we'll delve into each of them and then talk about friendship breakups towards the end.
I really resonated with that, the reason, season, or lifetime. So like friends that come into your life for a reason would be for like a particular phase during your life. It might just be a short time, and they're there for like a specific purpose usually. So you might be going through something, you might be grieving, or you might be setting up a business, or you know, and you need help or advice or guidance from someone. Usually that person's there for like a purpose to help you through that transition. And then they could go on to become a lifetime friend, but a lot of the time it's like they were kind of there for that reason. You were helping them, or they were helping you, and then it was no longer required. And you like, and then you kind of understand and realize they were just there for that, and they really helped you, and that was a brief period, and they were great. Or you go on to become a lifelong friend with them.
And then I guess the next sort of friendship tier that we wanted to talk about are friends for the season. And that's like the ones that are, whether they're for a few months, a few years, basically a season in your life. And that could be to do with school or uni or like sports groups, or through like another common connection. And I guess once your life moves away from that common interest. So for example, when I was younger, I used to play netball when I was in school, and we used to do that every weekend. You had your friends that you used to play netball in your netball team. You were like best mates. You used to hang out every single weekend. But once we got older and we moved away from that common interest, the friendship kind of, dissolved, and you went your certain ways, and that's when that friendship sort of reaches its end. You don't necessarily might not even have any contact with them in the future, but that's just, you can really identify that sort of seasonal friendship.
I feel like those are kind of like the flavor of the month friends. Like you might be dating a guy and you're really close with his sister because you've dated him for like a few years, or you're really close with the family, or you're playing, as you said, like you're playing a sport and you're really close with the teammate, but as soon as you break up with that person or you finish playing the sport, you maybe just because you don't see them all the time, you fizzle out, you run out, like you don't have that common interest.
Yeah, I think that one's a good one because you can really differentiate between the reason, the season, and then the lifetime friendship. And like,
Yeah.
it's okay to have those small bursts of friendship, and you don't need to be like, oh, get sad about going your separate ways because, yeah, like I said, you can identify what that reason of that, like they're really in your life for a purpose, and then it kind of goes the other way, or you go separate ways.
Yeah, it's super interesting when you break it down because it makes me think about like there is so many people that were in my life for a reason and a season. Like I did heaps of sport or growing up, and then like the reason friends. I've been thinking lately, like I really think Lottie, for example, we've come into each other's life for a reason because we're helping each other grieve and transition through our grief, and like we're learning so much about ourselves as we're doing that. But at the same token, I don't think we'll fizzle out, like because I don't think what we're going to reach this acceptance phase where we're fine. I think we actually have grown. We definitely started as a reason friend, but I'm sure we're going to become lifelong friends.
I have a good example. I've
Yeah.
got a really good example of the reason friendship as well. When I went through I think it was my third round of IVF, when I was here in Australia, and there's like a group chat or a group on Facebook that is Dr. Ung's, like everyone that's been treated by him. And I don't know if it was myself that posted, but when I had my that transfer that time, I was like, I just had my transfer on this day. Do I have any transfer buddies that like are
I
in
love
locally in
that.
the area? And I met this girl, this beautiful young girl. She was like in her early 20s, I think, and she'd had recurrent miscarriages, and she just literally lived up the street for me. And at that point we were both, I think we were both waiting to find, I think we we're both in the 2-week wait, or we're both waiting, and we were just like, oh my god, this is amazing, we're literally due on the same day, and like we're going to be able to go through this journey together, and blah 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 blah. And she went on to actually just had her baby only a few weeks ago. So that for me was like a real, that friendship, like we, if I walked past her, I'd say hello to her on the street, but that was like a proper reason friendship. Like I'm sure
Yeah.
if I ended up following through with that pregnancy and I didn't have the miscarriage, we would have been lifetime friends, because we would have had
You could be
babies at the
mums
exact same
together.
age. But naturally we just had to go our separate ways because I had miscarried, and it was quite a triggering friendship, and a triggering,
Mm.
even like, obviously we've got so many friends that are having babies right now, and that is triggering for me. But this one in particular, when she had her baby only a few weeks ago, it was like, it kind of hit home hard, because I was like, fuck, that was like my due date. Like that was like, we were, it really put like a pin to a time, and like, I don't know, it's a
Yeah.
weird one. And now I see her
Well,
now
that
with her
was
baby, and I'm like, fuck, I can't believe I'm still here with no baby. And like, but
wow.
that's like a perfect example of a reason friendship.
That's a really good example of like you guys were there for a purpose for each other. Do you
Yeah.
know what? You were literally there for each other just to get through that 2-week wait, essentially.
Yeah.
And it wasn't good news for you at the end of that 2-week wait. But you felt not alone through it.
Yeah.
It just sucked at the end. But it wasn't like you had to have some breakup chat and be like, oh, I don't want to be friends anymore. It was
No,
just
we
like,
kind of
hey,
just
this
like,
is going to fizzle out because we were chatting through the 2-week wait and we're kind of over the 2-week wait now, so let's drift apart. But it wasn't even, obviously you didn't have to chat about it.
Yeah, exactly.
And then there's the friends for a lifetime, which are like your sisters, like Chloe. I mean, you and me are friends for a lifetime. We've got heaps. We've got a bunch of friends that I am just so confident in that they are going to be around me forever. Like, those friends, and this is how I want to put it, like, you're never questioning the validity of your friendship. You're never walking away thinking like, fuck, oh, they said some weird shit, like, oh, I feel, like energy doesn't lie. You leave. How does a friend make you feel? When I leave my really close friends, I just feel super light. You don't want to leave feeling like heavy and like you're questioning yourself. And
Yeah.
I feel like that with you and me because we're so honest and we're just like if I don't speak to you for a week, you're not cut. But if I speak to you every day, that's completely normal. Like nothing's based on how often we speak or what I've done for you this week or what you've done for me this week. It's just like going to be there
Yeah.
for you no matter what.
And especially with my travel, like I'm over like the last 5 to 6 years I've spent overseas. So I have like a lot of these like that exact friendship type where I might not need to speak to you. Obviously we speak most days. But like all the rest of the girls that I am close with, we don't need to speak every other day. But like when we do speak, it's just like we never, there was no time lost. Like we just hit off straight where we but there's another one of our other friends that we went to school with. She was actually living in LA for a while and I was over there, and I swear to God I hadn't seen her for maybe like 3 or 4 years. And she was like one of my best mates in school because we were both nerds and we were like in the smart classes. And we never really caught up in LA, but because we hadn't seen each other for so long. But then one day when we did catch up, it was like, oh my God, like I feel like I have not missed a beat. Like we have, like we hit off right where we left off. And it's such a good feeling.
Yeah.
Like you get such a kick out of that. You're like, fuck, how have we not hung out more? Like you just feel so good when you leave them. I love that.
It's the best. I love that. I absolutely love that. And I hate it when you're like, oh, I've really got to call, like, on the other spectrum. I hate it when you like, there's someone that I've really got to call, but it's going to be such a long chat because we haven't spoken in ages. And I feel like I need to like warm up to that friend. It's going to be a process. Like I hate shit like that. Like those, I mean, that I think people always have those friends, but to me, they're not like those really, I don't know, friendships have to be easy. It doesn't have to be like, I feel like you're going to be angry at me because I haven't spoken to you for a little while. I've had this and that on. And when we speak, it's going to be like, this period where it's like, we got to catch up for ages before we get into the swing of things,
Yeah.
I feel like
I want to practice. Guilty. I want to practice more like short and sweet combos as well. Like we sometimes like, it's different as well with us living on the Gold Coast. Like we don't see our friends down in Sydney as often, but like when you do have the conversations, they have to be an hour long. And sometimes like, fuck, I haven't actually you got to really carve out time to have that phone call. So I want to
hate talking on the phone.
I feel like I'd be so much more stoked if I could have like more frequent, short and sweet conversations than like one big 2-hour conversation.
Well, I'm
so
the kind
hard.
of person. Yeah, I'll speak to heaps of the girls every single day for 5 minutes on the phone, and like, yeah, they're usually the ones that I'm seeing all the time, like most days. But then it'll be those people that I don't speak to for like 3 weeks or a month that you have to have that one long as fuck conversation, and like nut everything out. Which like
that's where voice notes
lovely.
are kind of good. I do like that.
Voice notes are the
With my
best.
hand, I like haven't been able to type properly, so I've been sending heaps of voice notes to people because it's like they don't have any opportunity, or you don't have any opportunity to like answer back. It's just like you say your thing, then you respond when you want to respond, and it doesn't go. I mean, mind you, sometimes the voice notes are like 2 minutes, and I'm sure Ellidy's like, I'm not fucking listening to that. That can stay in the too hard basket.
No, I save all my voice notes up for when I'm in the car and I can listen to everyone, and then I just press the button on my car and like respond, and it's just so much. I hate texting. I like a quick phone call, get to the point, don't fucking fluff around, especially at the moment I don't have time.
No, you don't.
I love it when Minnie starts screaming in a chat that I like can't be fucked.
You need to just get a recording.
Yeah, no, I got to go. Minnie chat, or she's screaming. I got to change her nappy. Like, see ya.
Even if you haven't got Minnie, you just need to get a little recording of Minnie screaming. Like, shit, Minnie's losing it. I'll have to call you back.
Yeah, fully. Everyone's going to be listening to, like, the girls who listen will be like, oh, fuck you.
Not that many of them listen. Yeah. We discovered that one.
Our friends are sick of hearing about us. That's funny because I was literally just about to say the lifetime friends are those ones that you feel that are genuinely stoked for you and they genuinely want you to do well. Do you ever feel like, I think people, like I've had this so many times, and I mean, you'll know through life, like, people listening and going in and out of different friendships or friendship groups, there is, especially with girls, there's friends that like you might get this sense like, I don't know if they're genuinely happy for me, or I think they're a bit jealous, or you just know when someone's just so, they just they empowering you. They just so badly want to see you succeed and do well.
Yeah, I love that. And I've always believed in that in business. I think it's so important to be able to boost your friends up and boost, even if they're not your friends, support, not just necessarily women, but support other people in business. It's not
Fully.
going
We
to
need to be
hurt
each
your
other's
business.
cheerleaders.
Exactly. I love that.
Yeah. Guys, a quick word from today's sponsor, Luv Lou. They have recently released collection Dawn, which embodies 70s shapes in earthy tones, which are perfect for the upcoming autumn months.
Luv Lou have even been spotted on the likes of Kourtney Kardashian, Vanessa Hudgens, Elsa Hoss, and Katie Holmes, and Ellidy Pullin.
And Chloe Chapman.
If you're wanting to get yourself a pair, don't forget to use the discount code DarlingShine for a massive 25% off online.
Yeah, and on that, just with the life, you know how sometimes, just back to what I was saying before, sometimes we'll be like, oh, I haven't spoken to that person in a while. I feel like people with friendships that they value need to not do that. They need to go, oh, okay, let's self-reflect. Have I checked in on that person? I know I always think I'm going through a lot. However, I'm always thinking, hey, I don't know what so-and-so might be going through, and maybe, yeah, they haven't checked in on me, but hey, have I checked in on them?
Yeah.
And it's not a comparison with what I'm going through and what they're going through. I think it's easy to be like, oh, they're not talking to me, but hey, are you talking to them? Send your fucking friend a love heart, check in on them. It's not all about, it takes two to tango, basically. So that's a really important one to remember, is self-reflection. And Chumpy always taught me that.
And I think another point as well with these lifelong friendships, and the way to decipher the ones that are actually meant to be your lifetime friends, or they were just actually a season. It's you really need to, like you said, evaluate how you feel around these people. If you're questioning the friendship, or you leave and you leave their space and you feel uneasy, or you feel exhausted, or you feel drained, you don't need to completely get rid of them altogether, but you just have to understand that maybe I need to distance myself a little bit, or maybe I need to focus my energy on friends that actually bring me up and make me feel good when I'm with them. And that's okay, because like I said, the older you get, the more you need to, you don't need to have a million friends. You just have to, it's quality over quantity, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And I've learned that a lot.
And then you can categorize friends in terms of what you do with them, friends that you go walking with, or friends that I hang out with because I have a dog, or friends that you go drinking with. There's but people, I think, are there sometimes for different purposes, and you talk about certain things with that friend and other things with that friend. And because sometimes there is, people serve different purposes, and you can serve different purposes for your friends. So I think just acknowledging that, sometimes someone will really piss me off, and I'm like, I'm just not going to go there with that friend. That friend is good for, X, Y, and Z, but not if I want advice or to talk to about this, that kind of thing. Or those friends that are really good one-on-one, but hey, in a group, not they piss me off. Yeah.
Yeah, no.
So identifying how you want to act with that particular friend, because sometimes it's not worth losing the friendship over. It's just being careful of how they are and how you are, and how you guys, the dynamic between you two, and just working around the best way that that's going to work for both of you.
Yeah, I mean, and then on that note, and something that a lot of you guys actually wrote in and wanted us to discuss was friendship breakups. Now, this is a hard one, because I feel like sadly some friendships do die, or they do fizzle when people have big life-changing events, for example, death, or going through a mental, suffering from a mental illness, suffering from depression. Some people just physically cannot support you through these sort of different changes in your life. For me, IVF, I've it's not a bad thing. I don't think going through a friendship breakup necessarily can be seen as a bad thing. Sometimes you do just have to identify that they were there for a purpose, and then you kind of move your separate ways. But I've recently gone through something like this with one of our really great friends, and it was hard because like I just felt like there wasn't the support there, or the more, not so much the support, the understanding
Mm,
of like what I was going through or what I needed in that person. And it just was like too much, and there was no like effort to
yeah,
try and kind of savor it. And that's okay, like, because like I said, everyone's going through their own thing, and you just
yeah,
have to understand that. But it took like
yeah.
9 months. Honestly, it was seriously like it was it
It's
was
a full on
actually
breakup.
worse. Sometimes it's 100% worse than breaking up with a boyfriend, for sure. I
Well,
think
that's
so.
just the thing. Friendships are literally relationships. So it's completely normal for a relationship to end because, you know, people cheat on each other, people fuck up, people talk about each other behind their backs. Like, you know, there's shit like that going on all the time, especially within big groups. And, you know, people do fuck you over, and you you do have to put your foot down eventually, like with a boyfriend, and just say, hey, I don't think you've got my best interest at heart, or I don't think you care about my issues. Like, I feel like I'm always there for you. Are you always there for me? Like, it's just so fair enough that this shit happens, because sometimes two people are just not meant to be. And I think yeah, that definitely is really hard and awkward, and especially with a lifelong friend, you will have to probably identify it and talk to each other about it. I mean, you could just literally drift apart, and then that's fucking awkward when you run into each other and shit. But I think if it's a lifelong friendship, nut it out, like write it, like maybe a phone call is awkward, but write it all down. Fucking tell that person, I mean,
I
where
feel
you
like when
think
I was
you've
going
been.
through it, the best way that I found, I would sometimes choke on the phone, and like I'm a
Mm,
very like empathetic and emotional person, and especially with going
yeah,
through so much IVF, my hormones are raging. So I
yeah.
found it really hard to speak on the phone to this person about any of my problems, or like about why they had hurt me, because I would always end up in tears, and then things were
Mm,
said, and like I just couldn't cope. So the best way for me, and I think that would work for most of you, and I think that works for Elle, is like sit down, write it down, send it in a message, send it in an email. That way, like
mm,
everything that you want to get out is on paper. There's no confusion. It gives the other person the opportunity to read it, understand how you feel. They can try and put themselves in your position, and then they can come back to you with, with what they want to say, whether it's an apology, or whether they have their side and they want to explain to you how they're feeling. And that's just the way it is. You can go back and forth a few times, and then it might be just that closure you need. um
yeah.
and then you can move on. And that's sort of similar to what happened. Something just shifted in me though, when I was so sad, and so it went on and on and on, and then it just one day I just clicked, and I'm like, you know what, like I've got nothing bad to say. Like I genuinely cherish that friendship. I did more shit with this person than I had done with any of my other girlfriends, than any other boyfriend. Like I've traveled the world, and I look at these photos and I just smile, and I'm like, yeah, that person served a major purpose in my life,
Yeah.
like for amazing reasons. I've had more fun with
Mm,
that person than I probably have had with anyone else in my life. But that's okay. Like I'm doing
mm.
different things now. We're both going different ways, and that's okay. That's how it is. It's
I feel
sad, but it is just reality of it all.
yeah, yeah, that's like that you went through like the proper grieving a friend. Like you actually
Oh,
did go through phases like anger and like just you were just so sad. And I guess now you definitely you've actually have reached a place where you've just like accepted it,
hmm,
and you just remember it for the good times, I think now. And
yeah,
you're so mature about the whole thing. So if there is a group situation or you do have to see that person, you'll like, you know, fuck, we're all adults now. So it's just, hi, no, like, you know, we don't need to talk about it anymore. It is what it is. And yeah, I
yeah.
just
I
think
would never be
if you are,
rude or anything like that. I'd always say hello. I probably wouldn't sit
yeah,
next to the person, but it's important to not make it uncomfortable
yeah,
for the other friends in our group, because essentially we're within a larger group,
mm,
and it is uncomfortable for other people. So I think if you do go through a friendship breakup, and you and
yeah,
the person that you're having this breakup with are in a larger group, you don't need to even nut it out with that
mm,
person. Just be a big a big girl and go to these group events, sit at different ends of the table, but don't make it uncomfortable for your other friends because that's just silly.
Yeah, you really have had a big shift, Chloe. I'm so freaking proud of you. It's like a weight's lifted off your shoulder as well. So that's epic. So like out with the old, in with the new, and it's quality over quantity. That's what it is. Actually, I was just thinking, and I've done this completely, and friends do this all the time, and I think everyone listening will have been there or will have friends that have been there. So when you're in a relationship, like a love relationship, like you've got a boyfriend or a girlfriend, I just massive piece of advice, don't dog your friends when you've started a new relationship. I know you're in the honeymoon period and I know you fucking love that person so much and you're all giddy and you're all frothing on this new relationship. But trust me, when you break up or if you break up, you're going to come running back to your friends, and it is a bit awkward, and that they'll be like, oh, sweet, now you want us because now you're sad and you don't have that person, but you've just dogged us for the past like year or 2 years or however long.
I feel like as well, some people need to like understand that sometimes your actual love relationships can be toxic for your friendship relationships because your partner has like all these opinions on like people, and they get in your ear and like they can sway. You know, it doesn't happen all the time, but sometimes there's partners that I feel like can be jealous of the friendships that you have with your girl.
100%. Yeah. We've had that in our group and stuff. And I think just bite the bullet at the start. Get your friends to meet your boyfriend, make it intertwined, get everyone to be friends. If they don't get along, they don't get along. I think if your friends don't like your boyfriend, you're blind. Like, I mean, this is okay. Sometimes they could be jealous, or you are blindsided by love and infatuation. Sometimes if your friends don't like your boyfriend, take that on a little bit and figure out why, especially if they're those really good sisterhood friends that you fucking love, because the people that you surround yourself with are like, you know, the types of people you surround yourself with are a massive reflection of you.
And I feel like we've got these crazy weird radars. We've got these friendship radars where you're like, I don't know about that person.
Yeah. But then again, it does take time to get to know someone. So also don't judge a book by its cover. But there's so many times where you see friends just kind of put all their eggs in one basket and not have time for like their lifelong friends just because they've got this new flavor of the month boyfriend or something like that. And I never like that. I just never think it's healthy. And I'm like, and I hate it when I see a friend being controlled by their boyfriend and they feel like they can't come and see their friends, because that happens all the fucking time. And it's just weird. It's like I would, you know, like I think a relationship is about being two people being the best person that they can for each other. And the same goes for a friendship. So don't be jealous. Just embrace each other's want and desire to still hang out with their friend or boyfriend, and just like make them feel empowered. And I don't know, do you know what I mean? Like people do get controlling and jealous, and they try, and I just think stuff like that that just pisses me off. Yeah, just think about that shit when you get in a new relationship. Don't dog your friends is all I've got to say. Because you will go crawling back to them. You will. You're going to regret that because you're going to feel like a dickhead. The other thing is this is fucking funny. I swear the episode's not even about this, but this happens all the time. You know when you're in a relationship, and I'm definitely not speaking from my my personal relationships, but I'm talking, you know, when friends are in a relationship and they come to you and they're like, oh, he's done this, fuck him, da 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 da, and you're like, yeah, you deserve better, rah 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 rah. So you like start to hate that person because the way they're treating your friend, but then they always bloody go back, don't they? And then you have to then hang out with them and you're like, oh my God, we hate this person. We've been through that. So
oh my God,
at the same token, try not to get too involved in other people's relationships. Like be there as an ear, but try not to say too much shit about their partner, because like they always fucking crawl back, don't they? And then you feel like this is awkward. I know all this shit and I kind of resent you for not like thinking better of yourself and trusting yourself and trusting that you can do better or getting out of it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Just
no,
stuff
I
like
know
that. I feel like
exactly what
that's
you
happening
mean.
under our noses all the freaking time.
Yeah. I think it's
never
really
bloody
important.
ending.
It's a good trait to be able to listen.
I just think stuff like dynamics, people, the way that they are just so interesting. Like the way that people act and think and feel, and just and that, like there's so many different character traits, and I don't know. You could talk for ages about the types of people we are.
For sure, 100 layers to friendships, and we obviously won't be speaking about every single one of them today, but I feel like you kind of have got a really good insight of our friendships with our group, with our friends, and you know
blows my mind how people ask us every day, can you tell us about your friends? And I'm like, fuck, what do you want to know?
But just understand, it's obviously never like it's not always sunshine and rainbows. Every friendship group, it's definitely not perfect, and it's something that you need to work on, just like a relationship with a partner. That it doesn't just come hand in hand. You definitely need to reach out, you need to talk to these people. I think that one of my number one traits that I really, really value is empathy. I feel like I've got a lot of empathy for a lot of people. It's really important to be able to, you might not agree with everything that they do, but it's really important to be able to put yourself in their shoes and try and understand why you're having this shift or why you're having these feelings towards that person. And if it's not meant to be, it's not meant to be. You don't have to have hatred, or you don't have to have, bad mouth them to other people. You just have to identify that, move on, and actually put your energy into relationships and friendships.
Key takings from today, guys: energy does not lie. Surround yourself with people that you would like to reflect in yourself. People that you surround yourself will shape and mold you. So I actually have realized that my best friends, I'm actually inspired by them, and I want nothing but the best of them. I want to empower you. If you're telling me good news, I'm just as happy about it for you as you are for you about it. Like, we need to be each other's cheerleaders. Welcome to our Asking for a Friend segment.
Yes, asking for a friend. You ask, we tell, right here, right now. So if you have a question, you can head to the link in our bio on Instagram, or we'll put it in our show notes. Send us the questions and we will answer them for your ear holes.
Should I forgive a friend who's burnt me and hurt me multiple times over the years?
I think if they've done it multiple times, they've made it pretty clear that you need to, that's like a bit of a red flag. Get rid of that friend. They're definitely not in that relationship for the best. But however, if they kind of do it once and they have one big stuff up, I do think that if they have an explanation and then they really, really make a big effort, not just a little one, not just like one text message, that's not an effort, a big effort in trying to get your friendship back, I do believe that you should be able to forgive them. But multiple times, nah, see ya.
Yeah, see ya. Give them the flick. They obviously don't have your best interest if they do it over and over again.
Yeah, nah, fuck that. Okay, I have one for you. My friend has just started dating my ex. What do I do? That's a hard one.
I think it depends how you broke up with your ex. Like, are you and your ex still friends? Is obviously, if she's asked that, probably not, and it's fucking awkward. So I'd say, it's a really hard one because you want to.
And it depends how close the friend is. Because if it was like a friend that's in your close friendship circle, even if it's like 1 year that you've been broken up or 10 years that you've been broken up, if one of my friends dated my ex, even though I haven't dated him since I was like 20, and then we have to start hanging out in the same friendship group, that is fucking weird. I would be so off that. I'd be like, I can't be friends with you. I think that that's 100%. But if it's like, if it's an acquaintance friend, I think it's okay. Like if it's not someone that you see all the time and not in your immediate circle, and depending on like, were you friends with that person when were you friends with that friend when you were with that person? I think that it's a borderline thing. I think that that's a no-no. But if you weren't friends with that friend when you were dating them at all. But it's also just like going back to that, I think it's also really awkward when you actually have to hang out with your ex. I don't. Mind
No,
you,
but
my
also
ex and
just
I are
because
friends. Like I see him like every now and then at parties, and like I love chatting with him. Like I love catching up with about how his family and stuff is. But we would never like hang out. If one of my friends was dating him, I'd be like, nah.
Yeah, because also girlfriends, you like to talk about your relationships like sex and like your problems and things like that. And it's like, you don't want to fucking hear about that when that's your ex, you know?
Yeah, it's
So
a weird one.
it definitely depends on the closeness of the friendship. But if you can't deal with it, then you don't have to deal with it. You don't need to hang out with them anymore. You can just say, hey, this is a bit hard for me. All the best to you though. I mean, look.
Good luck.
Like, yeah, you might lose a friend though, and that kind of sucks. So
yeah.
I had another one for you, didn't I?
Yeah, you got one more.
Okay. I like this one. My friend copies literally everything I do. I don't want a clone. I just want her to be her.
That's weird.
But that's so common. Have you not had that?
Really?
I feel like
no.
Yeah, and it's fucking annoying when someone copies you. But
it is annoying actually. Like if someone did something everything the same as you, you'd be like, okay, can you be exactly be you?
And it'd be hard not to get annoyed, but you do just have to take it as a compliment and be like, they just fucking love me.
Yeah,
but you just want your friend
imitation
to be
is like
them.
The biggest form of flattery or something like that, which is
yeah, exactly. So I would just say, take it in your stride, take it as a compliment. Even though
I think if it gets really bad though, if it is really excessive, I think it is like I think that you do need to sit down and have a conversation with that person, because if it continues, that could be like an end of a friendship, because that would be really annoying. So I think sit down, write a message, like we said before, write a text message, address it, and then if the person has a problem with it, then you just need to be able to put yourself in each other's shoes, because they might have a good explanation. Maybe they like the same clothes as you, or maybe that
it's funny because it's like that problem is not really a problem. It's more just a problem. Like it's yourself and the way you're controlling how you react to something. Whereas you could just be like, oh, who cares? They're just copying everything I do. But like, I don't need to have. I don't like. I can control what I think about it. But in saying that, I remember when I was younger, and you know what, like young girls are like, we were teenagers, but my friend used to copy everything I did. Like, if we were out to breakfast, what are you going to order? I don't know what to order. And I'd be like, I'm getting the eggs Benedict. So she'd have to copy. And I'd be like, bro, find your own fucking meal. Like, get your own shit. Don't just copy me. You might feel like granola, but because I've got this, you have to have that. And I'm like, it just used to annoy me. But now that I think back, like, why the hell would I let that bother me? I'm just like, this,
nothing bothers you anymore.
It's not really my problem. It is my problem, because it's just, you don't need to let things like that bother you. Just fucking take them in your stride. Just laugh, because it's actually pretty funny.
Well, that wraps up our little segment. We'll speak to you guys next week. Bye.
Love you guys.